As part of our Commitment 2016 coverage, WGAL is bringing you coverage of the races that impact the Susquehanna Valley, from the presidential contest to local races. And I'm joined now by the two Republican candidates running for the seat in the 104th Legislative District. This is a large district that covers Dauphin and Lebanon counties. In Dauphin County, it covers areas east of Harrisburg, in Swidera and Susquehanna townships, and much of the northern part of the county to Millersburg. And in Lebanon County, it covers East Hanover and North Annville townships. And with me are Nate Curtis, a technical sergeant in the Air National Guard and Dauphin County employee from Susquehanna Township, and Sue Helm, the current incumbent in this district since 2007. Let me ask you, why are you running against a Republican incumbent?
Well, I feel that it's time for comfortable, lifetime politicians to pass the torch to a more motivated and dedicated generation. I know I have the dedication and the motivation to make things happen and to work hard for the people in the 104th District. And with the leadership skills that I've learned in the military, I'm sure that that will transfer very well to the state seat of representative.
And Representative Helm, how do you react to that?
Well, I think I've done a good job with my years of experience, and I continue to do that. I always have an open door policy. My constituents come to me, I react to what they ask me to do. When I was first elected, the first thing that I talked about was structurally deficient bridges. Now the bridges in my district are fixed. A lobbyist came to me and asked me about a land transfer for PSECU because they couldn't get that finished in the House. And I managed to get it through. Now we have a beautiful PSECU building in Susquehanna Township. There was also a shooting range that was proposed for Susquehanna Township. Now I'm definitely not against guns, but I don't want a shooting range between two private schools. So now, instead of the Capitol Police practicing on an outdoor shooting range between schools, they're at HAC. So I do respond to my constituents, and I feel that I will continue to do that, and I do a good job for my people, my district.
All right. Well, speaking of things getting done and maybe not getting done, it was a very contentious budget debate this season. What do you think should have been done differently to achieve a budget sooner?
Well, we're proud of the fact that we held the governor at bay, and we passed a balanced budget. Actually, we passed a balanced budget 3 times and gave it to the governor, and he decided not to pass it last June. He waited 9 months, and then it became law.
But there was also a compromise budget that you said was going to be passed, and then it didn't end up that way.
Some of the things we asked for weren't honored by the governor. So the basic thing is we did not raise people's taxes, and the people of the 104th District, you'll find that they cannot afford to pay more taxes.
All right, so let's give Mr. Curtis a chance to, what would you do differently to possibly get a budget in place sooner?
Well, President Lincoln said to stand in the right place and to stand firm. And that's what we conservatives need to do in the House against the governor's ridiculous plans. He wanted to increase spending by $5 billion, and that spending's only going to come out of our pockets with increased revenue. They did a good job of preventing that from happening, and I'm thankful that they prevented that from happening. But the problem is that back in December, I tried reaching Representative Sue Helm's office to talk to her about veteran issues, and I got a voicemail the next day telling me that she doesn't have time because of this budget debate for constituent meetings. And that hit me hard and in my heart, because there are so many issues across the board that deal with veterans, and I wanted to speak with my representative, and I was pushed to the side. She didn't have time to meet with me, but she had time to run for delegate, and she has time to run for state representative again, collecting signatures, and she had time to attend different GOP fundraising events. I was not happy with what happened, and that's another big reason why I'm in this race.
Why wouldn't you make time for a constituent?
Well, I asked about that. I do have people that work for me because I can't be at all my offices at the same time. And I was told that they returned the call and said that we are doing the budget now, but if it was important, that you should call the office and my staff would meet with you. So that's the message I got. And then I heard you were running against me, and I thought, well, it's not exactly the right time to call now, so I'm just going to wait and we'll discuss this. And I'm more than happy to help with veterans issues, because we constantly do that. We have someone in our district office in Millersburg and in Susquehanna Township. If there's veterans need help, they come in, they talk to them, we take care of the problems.
Do you think there's something veterans aren't having in this district?
When a veteran calls their state representative, they should automatically assume that it's about something important. And as a veteran, I have a unique understanding of what veterans need and how to make sure that they are taken care of in the way they should be. And I will certainly pick up the phone and respond to their needs.
What do you think the state can do in terms of helping veterans?
There are a lot of veterans returning home from overseas that have fought hard for us. And when they return home, sometimes they're found without jobs and sometimes they're found without help to build their resume or to prepare for the civilian life. And I think the state needs to do more to help our veterans because the federal government's certainly falling behind.
Speaking of jobs, the unemployment rate for March inched up a bit in Pennsylvania, we just heard, and still below the national average. But what do you think we need to do to grow jobs in Pennsylvania?
Well, we definitely have to look at our tax structure. I mean, business taxes aren't good. There's talk about raising the minimum wage. I'm definitely not for that because that does not help jobs. I mean, employers can't afford to pay more money, and they will hire less if they have to have a higher minimum wage.
So you think the minimum wage should stay where it is?
I think it should stay where it is. Like, I employed a lot of people in my lifetime with the different jobs I had, and I always looked at what the person did, and I think merit increases, employers do look at that, but minimum wage wasn't meant for, it was meant for a lot of like the school kids that come out and work, and if people work today, and a lot of people I see they don't want to do as much as only what they have to, they are increasing their salary. So I think employers are looking for good employees. I'm always looking for good employees. And I just talked to someone just not too long ago and they said they can't get a job. And then they said, oh, well, I don't want to go to Walmart. Well, if I have to put money, to feed my family, I'm going to go to Walmart and work. I'm not against that. So there are jobs out there. They just need to do them.
But in turn, people will argue it's pretty hard to feed a family or live with a family on minimum wage. What's your reaction to her comment?
Well, I don't think we should raise the minimum wage either. You raise the minimum wage, that's going to raise the price of products, and it's going to be difficult for small businesses to pay people these increased wages. I'm a big fan of small businesses, and I support our small businessmen, and raising the minimum wage would hurt them and hurt their business, and I'm not for that.
Just quickly, pension reform. Nothing's gotten done in Harrisburg on pension reform. Where do you stand on that?
I believe the 401k style plan is a good option, and I think we should move forward with it. This pension reform is a monster, and it certainly needs to be taken care of very quickly and very soon before this deficit increases.
Representative Helms, is it something you see the House addressing in the near future?
We're talking about it right now. We have a couple different options out there. What I feel is we definitely need to do it. But everyone's employed now, especially the retirees, we can't do anything with their retirement. We have to keep our promises. They sign contracts. We need to, abide by that. However, I do think we need to right now pass a plan for new employees. When the new employees come in and they look at, do they want this job or not, they can make the decision if they can live on what we're going to offer them. So yes, I think it's important we do it right now. And yes, we are looking at it in our caucuses. We're at one break now, but we're in for weeks, and we do discuss this, and we will come up with a different plan.
All right, very good. Well, thank you both for being here. We appreciate it. And remember, the Pennsylvania primary is April 26th. And keep up with the latest election news on WGAL.com. You'll find more information on the other races we're following that you'll only find online.